What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wash Kings podcast, the show where a couple of cousins talk hoops, the NBA, and keep you updated on everything you need to know about your Denver Nuggets. I'm your host, Cam Kennedy, and I'm riding solo today to give you guys a breakdown of the Nuggets series so far versus Oklahoma City and talk about the Nuggets' improbable 2-1 series lead after winning Game 1 in the clutch and then getting torched in Game 2 and then winning Game 3 in overtime. It's going to be a really quick show. Just going to be breaking this down so far with the series, everything we're seeing and everything I'm seeing and what the Nuggets have done well to this point. And then at the end of the show, it's going to be a very quick conversation about the national media's discourse surrounding this year's playoffs, specifically with the Nuggets. But we're just going to jump right into it. Nuggets Game 3. My biggest takeaway from this series so far is that the Nuggets are tough as hell. They do not die easy. They are one resilient team. They just keep fighting. This team's identity is just being tough and never being out of the fight. They may lose games by a lot, like we saw in Game 2, where they lost by 43 points. They're definitely prone to getting blown out, like we saw in Game 3 as well, the Clippers series. But if they are within 10 to 15 points in any of these games, specifically against Oklahoma City, they can come back and win any of these games, and they're going to out-execute you in the clutch as well, as we've seen. And the Nuggets are just comfortable. They're comfortable in these pressure situations, and we've seen them time and time again, year after year, just perform in these spots. And even coming back from a 43-point loss the game before, we were wondering how they were going to respond, and they showed up. They showed up, man. So the fact that Jokic could have his worst game of his postseason career, and for the Nuggets to find a way to win that game is impeccable. AG, Murray, Porter, CB, P. Watt, Russ. This was just a team win that we saw last night. They picked up Jokic like he's done so many times for them before. And it felt special to me because that doesn't happen often. And there's not many examples that I could think of where they've done that for him. So Jokic, speaking of his game, 8 for 25, 0 for 10 from 3, which is just awful. 20 points, 16 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He got some things done here and there, but 8 turnovers and 0 for 10 from deep is a disaster. But the Nuggets found a way, and they won the game. So got to shout out Michael Porter Jr. in this game. This game could have easily slipped away in the first half, and Mike stayed steady. He hit some huge three-pointers to keep them in it. He hit a big one in overtime. He's operating with one good arm, and even then, he's still playing tough. He's playing hard, and that's all you can really ask from a guy, even if he's playing with one arm. 4 for 6 from 3, or 5 for 6 from 3, excuse me. 7 to 10 from the field, 21 points, 8 boards, a +7 in his minutes. When he's making multiple threes a game, the Nuggets are just a different beast. They have such a high ceiling when he's on, with that spacing and everything that it creates for the defense, putting them in disadvantage positions and everything. But yeah, a lot of shout out to Michael Porter Jr. Aaron Gordon needs a lot of praise right now. 22 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, +15 in 46 minutes, goes 4 for 6 from 3 and 7 for 11 from the field. AG arguably could be the MVP of this series so far, or just the playoffs in general for the Nuggets. He's had 3 signature moments in this playoffs already in 10 games. He's got the game winner versus the Clippers in Game 4 on that putback dunk. He's got the game-winning 3 with seconds to go in Game 1 versus OKC. And then last night, he sends the game into overtime with a game-tying 3. 3 signature moments, 1 playoff run. This guy's absolutely incredible. I can't say enough about Mr. Nugget and what he means to the squad. He's the heartbeat of the team. A lot of people talk about this on the team, that he's their guy. And considering the personal tragedy that he's had to deal with in his personal life, the passing of his brother Drew Gordon last year and everything, changes his jersey to 32 to honor him. He's on a really special run right now, and I couldn't be happier for him and seeing what he's doing for us right now. Jamal, a couple notes real quick. I thought he was excellent last night. He's had a shaky playoff so far for the standard that we hold him to, but he showed up last night, 27 points, 8 assists, at +14 in 48 minutes. 48 minutes is a ton. He looked dead tired at the end of that game, but he still found a way to get it done, hit some clutch shots in the fourth and in overtime as well. The Nuggets need this Jamal, though. If they want to win it all this year and they want to be a true contender, they're going to need more performances like this. And it felt good to see this because it reminds you that he can still hit another level. Christian Braun, nothing great. Nothing pops out on the box score that much, but he was still, as solid as they can be. Hit 2 3-pointers, which is good because in Game 2 he looked really shaky from there, but hit 2 3-pointers last night. That's all you can ask for when he gets them. He did a great job, I thought, on SGA and a lot of possessions. Peyton Watson, a really impactful 17 minutes, hit 2 threes on 3 attempts, had 2 blocks, including a massive one on Chet in the third. He was a +7 in his minutes for 7 points. And that was another thing, too, is the Nuggets won their non-Jokic minutes in this game by like 4 points or something like that. And that's just so rare. But this is a real good PWAT series, and they're going to need him for this rest of the series as well because of the defensive upside that he brings. So he's bringing that while making his threes right now, and that's fantastic. Finally, just mentioning all the players here. Russell Westbrook, another great game from him. Nothing that stands out too much because he played in 22 minutes for 8 points, hit a three, got 4 assists and 2 steals, but he just understands who he is on this team and what is needed for this team. If it's Michael Porter Jr. feeling it, then he's going to be okay with sitting. And I think that's a great leadership from him. And we saw him coaching up the team too. And you can tell, I think he thinks his team has it in them to win it all. And you know damn well that Russ would like to get a championship before he retires. So this Russ run in this postseason has been one of the biggest stories for the Nuggets, and I'm all here for it. But here's a stat for the Nuggets defense, which was mid to bad all season this year until the playoffs. They turned a switch, flipped a switch. Denver held OKC to 7 points over the last 9 minutes of regulation and overtime last night. OKC was 2 for 15 from the field with 2 turnovers in that span, scored just 2 points in overtime, and Shea was locked down in that stretch, and he was taking some really questionable bad shots and some really weird decisions. But in 2 games of clutch play for Denver, the 2 games that they've won, they have an offensive rating of 140 and a defensive rating of 61.1. That's a net rating of 78.9, and that's incredible. They're winning these games by pulling the other team down into the mud. They're making it a rock fight. They have won, I think, all of their games. They have 6 playoff wins this year, and 5 of them were ugly. I think Game 7 was the only one that was like a good-looking game where they played really well. Other than that, it's just been a slog. It's been a rock fight, and they find a way to win, and that's just really special, and the good teams do that. The championship-level teams do that. This has been the difference so far between the 2 squads, in my opinion. One team has been there, won a championship, has won countless playoff games together with this core in multiple different ways, and the other team is young and experienced, doesn't quite know what they want to get to when they need a bucket. They look shook in the fourth quarter in the clutch times of these games. And don't get me wrong, OKC can still win this series. They are the better team in my opinion, but the Nuggets they're different. I mean, they just find a way in these areas and in these spots, and if they can keep the game within 10 to 15 points, they have a chance every fourth quarter that they get to against this team. Because OKC is probably going to win another game or 2 by 20 plus points. I can guarantee that happening just because of the way they play, the variance of the way that they can win games. That's probably going to happen. But we can't let that get us discouraged, and it won't discourage the Nuggets. I know, because as long as they don't let the rope go in some of these games, and at least 2 more for the rest of this series, I think the Nuggets will win it. I think they're going to win it in 6 or 7 games. I predicted they're going to win the series in 7 before the series started. And after this 2-1 start, I feel fantastic about where the Nuggets are at. And I just think they're built for this. And even with Jokic having such a bad game, they were able to win this game. He's not going to miss 10 threes in a row again. He's not going to have 8 turnovers again. He's the best player in the world. So the Nuggets role players are clicking, and they have a 2-1 series lead and some really, really cool, good wins in Game 1 and Game 3. So moving on, segment 2, we're going to be done here in a little bit. Just a quick show again. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Just wanted to have a conversation about the national media a little bit, just some of the national pods out there. Just because I listen to a lot of podcasts daily, especially with the playoffs starting. I listen to a lot of Bill Simmons, a lot of Zach Lowe, FS1's playoff coverage on TV, sometimes some ESPN, but not so much, Ryan Russillo, and other podcasts. The NBA show with Tim Legler and Adam Mars is a great show too. DMVR for Nuggets content as well. But it's just interesting how the national media pods will cover them. Where I don't think they really understand how the Nuggets are winning these games, because everybody picked the Clippers to beat them in round 1. And a lot of the discourse after the Nuggets won that series was about James Harden and how the Clippers choked. It wasn't really even talked about what the Nuggets did to win those games. And some of these national pods are giving the Nuggets their flowers and Jokic, that appreciation. But it's just, I wonder what point they have to get to get that bump, that championship contender bump. And it's probably going to have to be beating OKC, which I get. And I get why everybody picked the Thunder in this series too, because they won 68 games this year. They absolutely blew by the Grizzlies in 4 games in the first round. They have the best and most deep roster in the league, in my opinion. So I get it. I get why everybody picked the Thunder, but I don't know. I think how many more impressive wins do the Nuggets have to get for national media and some of these podcasts and stuff to really start talking about the things that they're doing, even if it's ugly. Yeah, it's not the prettiest way to win basketball games, but they're finding ways to do it. And everyone had written them off, I think, after Mike Malone was fired and Calvin Booth. They thought the team was in turmoil. There's 3 games before the playoffs. How could they fire their coach? Blah, blah, blah. Well, it's turned out to be the right call because this team was rejuvenated and revitalized, and they've been the underdog in a lot of these games so far in the playoffs, and they've been the underdog in both series, and they keep finding ways to win the game and keep proving people wrong. So I don't know. I just want to spend a few minutes on that before we end the show. I'm someone who studies sports media, NBA media, someone who wants to work in this world and in this space someday. So I really research and study NBA podcasts like this and listen and pay attention to people that have been successful and have found an audience in these spaces as well. So it's fascinating to hear how they view Denver. And I just wonder how much more Denver can keep going and get the attention that they want. So this playoffs has been a really special run for the Nuggets. I've enjoyed it immensely. Everybody on the Wash Kings here has had a great time watching these games, and it's just something to keep track of when the national pods come out on Monday. We'll see what they'll be talking about. Nuggets play Sunday. They play tomorrow, Mother's Day at 1:30 Mountain Time. That's going to be a big one. I don't have predictions really for it, but I'll tell you what, if the Nuggets can go up 3-1, I feel pretty good about where they're heading. And if and on the flip side, if the Thunder win this game 2-2, it's anyone's game at that point. And we're gonna have to go back to OKC for Game 5 and a potential Game 7 as well. So that's gonna do it for today's show. Just a quick one. I appreciate any of you that have listened the whole way or support our show in general. We will have more playoff content coming soon. But follow us on Instagram at the Wash Kings Pod and on TikTok at the Wash Kings. And thanks for tuning in. You can hit that outro, Matt. Appreciate you being here, man. Have a good one.